Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV, one I've been working on for quite considerable amounts of time on both stream and outside of it. In my spare time, it's just basically become just one big blur at this point. Over the past few months, I've been working on acquiring the resistance weapons. Now, not just one or two, but all 17 of the damn things. So to do so, I thought I'd do streams periodically, and we obviously did lots of runs of Delabrum Regine and lots of Bosja on stream and things like that. But I'm happy to say that I've finally completed my goal, and I couldn't be any happier than I already am. But I thought it would be a really good idea not only to put this stuff into a video showcasing them, but also to explain how exactly I did each stage to actually get to this point. And I think that's something people will find rather valuable, hopefully at least. If you'd rather just look at the completed relics, there will be a timestamp on the screen now and in the comment section below that you can click on. There'll be the pinned link. And you can skip straight on to the showcase of the weapons if you'd rather. But for people who are interested how to get your resistance weapons and tips along the way, here we go. For the first stage then, it starts out at 485 item level. These were added in patch 5.25. This required you to complete the Return to Ivalice storyline and raids in Stormblood, to complete the Shadowbringers main storyline in 5.0, and to do the quests Hail to the Queen, Path to the Past, and the Bosja incident, and also the Fire in the Forge questline. Essentially, so do all of your MSQ stuff, get that out of the way first. If you're starting out, make sure you've done your Return to Ivalice raid series, including all the storyline that wraps that up over in Kagane, and pretty much at that point you're good to go when you've unlocked Gangos. So basically the first weapon is free. That's all you need to know. But however, anything past this, if you want to make other weapons, will require 4 Favnerian scale powders, which is something you can buy for 250 Allegan tomes of poetics each from the vendor over in Mordona. Now, obviously, for all 16 of these then, past the first one for 3, that's actually 16,000 poetics needed for all of the remaining 16 weapons then. That's, nothing really in the grand scheme of things. So far, so good. That's the easiest step, obviously. For stage 2 of the weapon, you need to have completed the MSQ quest Vows of Virtue, Deeds of Cruelty, and have also completed the side quest A Sober Proposal and Where Eagles Nest. Go to Zlatan in Gangos with your weapon from stage 1 and pick up the next quest, which is called For Want of a Memory. This quest then requires you to get 20 tortured memories of a dying, 20 sorrowful memories of a dying, and 20 harrowing memories of a dying. So if you're going for all 17 weapons, that's 340 memories per type. So about 1,020 items in total is what I had to farm. Obviously, if you're not going for this, it's going to be a lot easier for you. So where are these memories from? You can get these from random drops in skirmishes or critical engagements in the Bosjan Southern Front itself, or do what I did and farm fates in Heavensward areas. Yellow memories, I went to Curfin Western Highlands to actually farm the fates there. The blue memories, I went to the Churning Mists. And for the red memories, I farmed fates in Azizlar. These are actually a guaranteed drop from fates in Heavensward areas, so that's 1,020 fates total if you want all of these 17 weapons done. Not to scare you or anything, but that's the truth of it. So stage 3 of this weapon then, added in patch 5.35, is to make them into recollection weapons. To do this, you complete stage 2 and then start the new repeatable quest, The Will to Resist, from Zlatan in Gangos. This requires you to get 6 bitter memories of the dying. These are green memories. You get one of these for doing your first leveling roulette of the day, so that one's pretty much for free, especially if you get Ifrit on your leveling roulette, you lucky devil you, or from completing level 60 dungeons in the Duty Finder. You can also get these as rare drops in the Bosnian Southern Front from enemies. Pretty much any enemy will do, it's just random. However, I personally couldn't deal with any more RNG, so I just did anti-tower back to back after that first leveling roulette of the day, being one of the fastest runs of any level 60 dungeon. I mean, they're pretty close, but that seems to be one of the fastest. I did that 102 times for all of the bitter memories I needed for all 17 weapons. Thankfully, you don't need to play the job you're working on, so you can just queue up for anti-tower, watch something on your other monitor if you've got one, and just play whatever job you want. So for stage 4 then, this is the Law's Order stage. This was added in patch 5.45. So the first hurdle of this, unfortunately, is you need to be rank 10 in the Bosnian Southern Front. There's no way around this at all, it's just required. This can be done by farming skirmishes and critical engagements inside the content of Bosnia. This is one of the reasons why people prefer to do everything inside the instance where possible, even if it is, inevitably slower. I personally was slowed down by this same mistake, but at the same time I wouldn't have changed anything, honestly, because rank 10 didn't take me that long, whereas I'm sure the memories would have taken me a lot longer if I'd farmed them in here at the time with their current at-time drop rates. Once you are rank 10, however, you can do Castrum Lacus Latore as part of a new quest that will pop up in the base. Once you've done this, you get side quests in Gangos called A Sign of What's to Come, Fit for a Queen, and In the Queen's Image. You need to do these quests. Once those quests are done, you accept the repeatable quest Change of Arms from Zlatan in Gangos. This asks you to get 15 loathsome memories of a dying. You can do Crystal Tower raids to get these one at a time, Castrum Lacus Latore for 5 at a time, or from critical engagements in Bosnia itself. I personally mixed this up as much as possible, but found that the Castrum method was honestly the fastest when they actually buffed it to 5 in a patch. Prior to that patch it wasn't 5, but 5 from a run of Castrum is hard to really complain about and does remain the fastest method today if you can handle that many runs of Castrum Lacus Latore. So stage 5, this was added in 5.45. This required the completion of a new side quest that was added in the patch called The Resistance Remembers. This is an unfortunately unskippable, non-repeatable stage of the quest that everybody pretty much dislikes when I asked them about it. You need to get 18 haunting memories of the dying and 18 vexatious memories of the dying. These are obtained from the Marquee Alliance raids and Fates in Girabania, and the Vexatious drops in the Return to Ivalice raids and the Fates in the Far East. The Fates seem to have been buffed at some point apparently, so they're a pretty good bet if you want to go for them, but I simply did 18 Void Arcs and 18 Rabanastas. It just felt like the fastest thing to do at the time, and probably still is. I don't know, it depends on your queue times. I did it as healer, so who knows at the end of the day. But yeah, once that hurdle is over then and you've completed those annoying 18 and 18, you unlock a new repeatable quest now called A New Path of Resistance. This is actually to get 15 time-worn artifacts. You can do Palace of the Dead, which isn't a guaranteed drop on lower floors, or you can do Delubrum Regine, or Delubrum Regine, however you want to pronounce that, a 24-player raid queued for in Gangos that you unlock as part of that quest. Since patch 5.57, the Delubrum dungeon now drops 3 time-worn artifacts per clear instead of 1 like it used to. So Delubrum is currently the fastest way to get your time-worn artifacts, period. For my 17 weapons, then I would have originally needed to do 255 runs of DR, and sadly I pretty much did all of them pretty much like that, bar 2 weapons or something before the patch day came out, where they raised it to 3 from 1. So if you're going for 17 weapons today, you only need to do 5 runs of Delubrum per weapon. That's only 85 runs for all 17 at this stage, and I'm totally not jealous of you at all in the slightest. No, it was fine, I enjoyed it. Stage 6 then, the final stage. In patch 5.55, Square Enix added the final weapon, which is an item level 535, best in slot in Shadowbringers, and will take you forward into Endwalker quite nicely. To get these, you need to jump through quite a few hoops, however. Finish the new Futures Rewritten main storyline quest from 5.55, then complete a new Playing Field quest which unlocks Zadnor, then start a quest What Dreams Are Made Of side quest from Geralt in Gangos. Unfortunately, this is yet again another unskippable part that you only have to do one time only. Accept these 3 new quests, which are Spare Parts, Tell Me a Story, and A Fond Memory. These 3 quests, like I say, are non-repeatable, much like the Vexatious stage from the earlier part of a weapon. They just have to be done once. Sadly though, you have to collect 30 compact axles, 30 compact springs, 30 A Day in the Life Battles for the Realm books, and 30 A Day in the Life Beyond the Rift books, 30 Bleak Memories of the Dying, and 30 Lurid Memories of the Dying. That's 180 items in total. You can get all of these from Zadnor, in particular from critical engagements and fates. The fates will drop one type and the engagements another. The South Zone, for example, will drop axles and springs, depending if you're doing a skirmish or an engagement. The second zone, once again, you'll get your books, and then the third zone, you'll have the crystal memories. The third zone is unfortunately pretty low in terms of critical engagement, so I would recommend doing something else for that. And in particular, for that something else, you can also do specific raids to complete a stage. But honestly, either way is a pretty much chore. So you just got to choose which you prefer personally. The raids then drop what item you need for that method if you want to choose it. The axles come from Heavensward raids, the Fist of the Father, Cuff of the Father, the Fist of the Sun, the Eyes of the Creator, and the Breath of the Creator. And the springs come from Arm of the Father, Burden of the Father, Arm of the Sun, Burden of the Sun, Heart of the Creator, and Soul of the Creator. The Day in the Life Battles for the Realm books drop in Stormblood raids, Deltascape 1 and 2, Sigmascape 1 and 2, and Alphascape 1 and 2, and the Day in the Life Beyond the Rift books drop in Deltascape 3 and 4, Sigmascape 3 and 4, and Alphascape 3 and 4. So you get the idea of the pattern, you know. One set in 1 and 2, one other set in 3 and 4 of each wing. There you go. The Bleak Memories drop in Eden's Gate Resurrection, Descent, and Fulmination, as well as Furor, Umbra, and Litany. And the Lurid Memories of the Dying drop in Eden's Gate Inundation and Sepulture, Eden's Verse, Iconoclasm and Refulgence, and Eden's Promise Anamorphosis, and also Eden's Promise Eternity. So those are the ones you'd have to do over and over again if you want to do it that way. Just choose your poison and get it done. Once you've handed in all of your parts then and finished all of these quests, and in particular the quest A Done Deal, pick up the final repeatable quest, which is known as Irresistible. You now simply need to get 15 raw emotions. You can get 2 of these per Delabrum Regine run, 3 per Dalriada, a large-scale assault in Zadnor, or 1 per level 70 dungeon. People like myself like to mix it up. Personally, I did some in Dalriada, a couple of dungeons here, but most of them in Delabrum Regine. I went for 17 weapons, and during this I could benefit from being on 2 weapons at the same time, or multiple stages at the same time, at different stages. So you can pick up your warrior weapon at the Time Worn stage and have your white mage weapon working on your raw emotions. It works. The drops will still be there, so my recommendation for you is to work on multiple weapons at the same time. So obviously I'd be benefiting from the Time Worn artifacts and raw emotions at the same time whilst doing DR, which is one of the things I chose to do. So definitely do this if you're going for all 17. It will make the most out of your time and you will lose less sanity doing so. So I did 17 weapons, which is 15 raw emotions needed. If you're going for speed, do Dalriada. That's only 85 Dalriada runs for all 17 weapons, or 136 or something Delabrum Regines. Let me be clear though, due to the patch not coming out to change the Time Worn stage until 5.57, I've done well over 300 runs of Delabrum Regine to complete all 17 weapons. So make yourself, make life easier for yourself. Don't do as many Delabrum Regines as I did. It's not advised in the slightest. And there you go, 17 resistance weapons at the final 535 item level. Let's have a look at them, shall we? Alright then, so there you go, you had a pretty good look at all the weapons, and obviously at the start of the video I told you all of the things that I did personally to get all 17 of these. I'm pretty happy, honestly, to have all of this done. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. A lot of people have told me how they've done all of the Heavensward ones and how they've done all the Eureka weapons and all the Realm Reborn weapons. On the topic of the Realm Reborn weapons, I can only imagine those books, like the book stage, being an absolute nightmare. I've only ever done one of those weapons, but it has encouraged me to maybe do this again. You know, maybe not backdating with all of those previous weapons, but definitely going forward in Endwalker. You know, we're going to have 19 classes, jobs basically, that we can get a relic weapon with in the future. So hopefully Endwalker takes some of this on board and comes up with some pretty epic looking things, hopefully void related. That would be my hope personally for a design scheme. Do I have a favorite weapon? Honestly, I think the Warrior has to take that spot. It's probably one of my favorite, just simply because of the design. A lot of people are put off by the crystals, which is, you know, part of the whole thing in the first place. But yeah, there's something about it. I think it's just the blade itself with the sort of magma in the center, and then the blade itself having this sort of glow that looks like, you know, sort of, it's flowing ether basically at the blade. Like the blade itself probably isn't that sharp, but it's sharp because of the ether current there or something. I don't know. You can imagine it, can't you? I think that some of them look better than others, and a lot of people will say that the earlier stages, in their opinion, look better, especially on the Law's Order Augmented stage, for example. And whilst I would agree with some of those, especially when it comes to Summoner, I think Summoner personally, in my opinion, got shafted this time around. The Machinist one has grown on me since, but yeah, overall, they're not the best looking weapons that we've ever had from a relic grind before, but I do have my favourites. I do really like my White Mage staff as well. I do think it's quite cute, especially since it kind of gives me... Ooh, this is the wrong one. I accidentally fantasiaed over that. That's my Realm Reborn one. Whoopsie daisy. But yeah, the new one I do like a lot, mostly because of the stained glass kind of... It looks like one of, you know, like the glass animals that you collect, maybe, like my mum used to collect a lot of glass animals. It reminds me of that. Everything looks very fragile and quite pretty. I do like the colour differences. I like the butterflies. Yeah, there's a lot to love. But yeah, some I like more than others, and I think my least favourite is definitely Summoner. I think that they sorely deserved something more than just, well, the most basic book in the universe and the Walmart logo. But it is my opinion at the end of the day, and I'm entitled to it, like you are as well. But yeah, overall not bad. One thing I will say before I wrap up this video is that if you don't like the glows on these weapons, like maybe, for example, you're going through this entire process, and you're like, oh, but I don't want to finish the final weapon because of the glow, well, you can actually get rid of the glow, if you want to, and just have a matte weapon, as it's called. So we've finished all the weapons here. So if you come over to Regana, or Regana, whatever you want to call her, and she's located over here, quite close to where Zlatan is, actually. There's the pier, and then up here, you'll see that when you complete a weapon, you can buy the previous stages of it. So for example, I know a lot of people don't like the Dark Knight weapon, right? For example, this is what the Dark Knight weapon looks like with the crystals, right? But some people might like the actual type of it. You can get the matte version. Now, the matte versions are still dyeable, and the best thing about all of these replicas as well is they can go into your glamour chest, which is, you know, one of the main reasons you would want to do this. So if we switch to our Dark Knight, where is it? Where did I put it? There we go. This is the normal fully glowy sword, but perhaps we don't like those crystal teardrops, which personally I quite like them. Some people hate them. We can, if we had enough armory space, give me a second, there's a replica rebel earlier, we can simply get rid of that. So even if, you know, you just want the non-glowy version of the final stage, you can totally do that. And I think it goes quite well with the Law's Order armor as well. It actually goes a lot better than I expected, especially with the brass and the blue there. So there's that option as well. I just wanted to touch on that because some people don't know about the replicas, and honestly, they are really, really good. Like, back when the Eureka weapons came out, I wish they had done matte versions as well, but there we go. I mean, you can get replicas, but there you go. Anyway, let me know what you think about the Resistance weapons from a preview. Which one did you find was your favorite? Are you planning to go for all 17? Do you think I'm crazy for doing so? I'm completely open to your feedback. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And to wrap up this video feels like an absolute dream, to be perfectly honest, months in the making. So thank you very much for everyone tuning into the Twitch streams, seeing me do this on the way and joining in for some of the runs. It has been maddening, it has been boring, and we will return to more sort of normal stuff on the Twitch streams for Final Fantasy XIV, but it's been a great laugh in my opinion, and I'm glad we could finish it. But so the next time you see one of these types of videos from me, it'll probably be Endwalker. And hopefully Sage gets some cool stuff as well as Reaper. I can only imagine what a relic weapon for Reaper could look like. Much love, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your weekend wherever you are, and I will indeed see you all next time as I bow accidentally twice. Bye-bye.